There it is.
I'm gonna be all right.
We have here Michael McClendon and Wes Jensen, co-owners of the prestigious Sages Vintage Custom Crush Winery, where they've been producing amazing wine for 7 years. Michael, Wes, you two have been making and producing wine for over 7 years, but have you ever once wine tested with a pair this bizarre?
Yeah, no.
I don't think so.
Like you've never tried anything to this extent in terms of tasting after, like, with wine?
Not this extensive. I mean,
This is pretty extensive.
yeah.
Oh, I'm glad to be your extreme here. Now that you're here, what are your expectations for the tastings? Do you think you can handle the heat at all?
I went to handling school, so I can handle it.
Okay.
I'm just fully expecting pain and suffering.
Okay, well, I mean, all right, Wes, Michael, for the first shots, you guys are going to be trying out smoky bourbon. Go ahead and give it a try.
Okay.
It's actually smoky.
Mine's not really smoky.
Smoky's good.
I hope I ate the right one.
He was in the right position.
It's all right. Flavor's moderate, light, subtle.
Which is what you want in level 1.
Okay. Simple, good. I didn't want anything complicated for the first one. Wanted to start you guys off easy, of course. Now, with the wines in front of you guys, do you guys want to describe some of the wines that you have with you?
Our first wine this evening is a sparkling rosé, Montepulciano.
Okay.
Good. Actually goes together quite well.
Yeah.
Would you mind describing what kind of taste you get out of that? How does that pair feel?
It's good. It's light, fruity, fresh, a little hint of carbonation. It kind of uplifts everything. So it's not a lot of spice, but this helps to carry some of that little light flavor, saying like, oh, it's not quite as intense as I thought it was gonna be, which is okay. But getting off into the wine, the flavor of the sauce pulls up the bright freshness of this wine and makes it just like pretty A1 pairing.
An interesting way of putting it. I guess to the first question, now with Wes, with a prior job in growing grapes and Michael graduating college as a scientist in biology, how did the idea of a winery come about? Where did all this start? I'm sure you get this question a lot, but like really delve into like your career specialities at the time before starting the winery.
Yeah, so I mean, we were working at a winery together. I, at the time, was just getting into the industry. It was still pretty fresh and different. And I remember like the first day, maybe first week at least, getting there and thinking, man, there's a lot more science involved. This is pretty neat, pretty different. And then this like sweaty older guy comes in from the vineyard and he's like, I'm checking the turgor pressure on these plants. I need to get off in the lab for a second. And I'm like, I know what turgor pressure means. This guy's doing some science over here. All right. And it was Wes. But that was pretty much what was, some of the early catalysts to help keep me or get me geared towards this industry. And, Wes and I, we stayed in touch over the years and shared a passion for wine, working in the Texas industry. Wes has a lot of experience outside of Texas, and just for thinking, man, you know what, there's an opportunity for us to try to help other people make better quality products. So we kicked around the idea for a long time and then settled on doing custom crush instead of doing consulting, and here we are.
Now, Wes, I mean, where do you build off that story? I think that was a great answer. How would your perspective be of how you guys started this?
Well, it's basically the same, and we all obviously ended up in the same place. But you know, you always have, when you work for someone else, you always have the water cooler talk. So it's just, yeah, if I was running things, we could do it like this, and it really should be done like that. And then it was like, one day we should just start our own winery, and that we kept in touch because we were friends. Even after I had left, so I grew the grapes there. And Michael was the winemaker, so I'd get the wine grown and go drop it in his lap and lovingly say, "Don't mess it up." And he would give me the look. But from that point on, it was, you know, we're going to start our own business, and if so, we're going to make wine. Michael's a winemaker, so what is that going to look like? And I really didn't want a tasting room. Nothing against tasting rooms, but I don't want to spend all day making wine and then turn around and spend all night selling it. So,
No, that's fair, and that's a great answer. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next wing, if you guys are ready for that. The next wing is going to be an apple whiskey. Prepare yourselves. We're not going to get anywhere close to the hot stuff, but prepare. Yeah, be ready. Prepare yourself.
Creeping up. You're right. The apple hits kind of late. A slight tingle across the tongue. Like there's a little bit more activity here, you know? This is pretty good. I like this one more than the first. The flavor is a little bit more durable.
And what do you mean by durable exactly?
Yeah.
it persists on the palate.
Right.
You're actually noticing the flavors that are being described.
My expectation is apple. Boom, apple.
No. While we're on the subject, I think I don't think I've ever seen anyone describe wing flavors. So, no, okay. It's less of a compliment and more of a interesting observation. You guys coming from a background of wine tasting, I think it does really well to articulate the flavors of these wings. Not just with the pairing, but the wings themselves is pretty interesting.
You're welcome.
Wine is food. Wine is meant to be paired with food. So when you practice and taste wine and become better at pulling out the flavors in wine, you're describing them with actual food flavors.
When you practice and taste wine, you'll become better at it. Describing it. Okay. West Jensenisms.
That was terrible.
Now, you've grown grapes in California, Washington, and Chile. How do these regions compare, and what unique challenges does Texas viticulture present?
Well, I didn't grow grapes in Chile, but I did visit and see how they grew the grapes. Texas as an environment is probably one of the most difficult places to grow vinifera, which is the variety or the main family of all the wine grapes come from. Because you could have, and it depends on where you're on the state, it's 700 miles wide, low humidity, not a whole lot of leaf wetness hours, and here in East Texas, you're gonna have 8, 9, 10 hours a day just at night after dewfall of the leaves being wet. So that in and of itself creates an environment for fungus to grow, which can attack the vines, the grapes, and kill them.
All right, so we're going into the next wing. Next wing on the list is going to be a mango habanero. It's still low, but
Are you skipping to this one?
No, we're doing mango hob.
Okay.
all right.
Going in.
Got a little more flair.
Yeah. Again, some late tingle.
Red pepper.
All right, moving on to the next question. Michael, this one's going to be towards you. You've been recognized as a rising leader in the wine industry. What do you think sets Texas wine apart on a national and global scale?
That's a great question. I mean, first and foremost, like it is with as much humility, I guess, to be considered as a rising leader. I think Texas is still in a place where we are putting forth our best foot and attempting to put forth our best foot. We have opportunity to showcase a number of different regions and sub-regions, and that work is being done right now. Like what I was talking about earlier, you have fantastic varieties like Blanc du Bois, which we have a couple examples here, but it grows really well in that area. It's unique, it's special. It's getting a lot more notoriety and commercial viability. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine at Sacramento Bee, and he's also a big fan of Blanc du Bois. But then you've got unique microclimates way out in the Davis Mountains area. You've got this new Hickory Sands district that's a little bit further west of Hill Country proper. And so all these places are able to showcase unique viticulture and practices along with different grape varieties. Texas is grasping many unique or obscure varieties and pushing them into prominence. So I think over time, as we continue to establish ourselves and move forward on a national and then global level, we'll see more proliferation of these types of things. And I think that these types of things being unique microclimates, viticultural practices, and great varieties, those things are what's going to set us apart on the larger scale. And I think from a consumer side of it too, so that's from like a production and viticulture and winemaking side. On the consumer side, Texas hospitality is second to none. So the experiences that consumers are going to get will only continue to get better and better. And I think that will be valuable as all viticulture moves forward. But we're really just trying to do the best job at what we have and what we do. And it's still cool. Like we're just trying to do cool stuff with our friends, you know?
That's a funny way to look at it. Even given the position that you guys, like the stature that you guys have in this kind of industry, that's interesting to hear. We'll go ahead and move on to the next fourth wing sauce. Prepare yourselves. We're about to hit midway, so it's just gonna get interesting. At number 4, we have Garlic de Fuego for our Spanish speakers.
De Fuego. We have a semi-sweet Blanc du Bois.
Gave me a kind of weird looking one.
Yeah.
Now, Michael, while you're chomping on that delicious wing there, I wanted to bring up your amazing shirt. Would you mind describing to us while you're going ham on there what the plan is with that shirt? What's the story?
And you see me put like the whole wing in my mouth, like I'm trying to get down these flats, man. What are you doing to me? It's a daishiki. It's a contemporary African pattern celebrating Black History Month.
Interesting. Okay.
It is interesting. Don't edit that part out. Is it hot?
It wasn't until I tried to inhale it, and then it's just like.
Remember, I went ahead and loaded you guys up with an entire carton and half jug of milk. So, in case of emergency, please indulge yourself.
I'm still doing okay with one. It's only wing number 4.
Only wing number 4.
That's tasty.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. It's got some kick. It's got a slow burn.
No. Oh, Michael says no. Michael says he's ready for the big leagues. Interesting. Now, Wes, would you guys like to describe the wine, the pairing for me?
This is a semi-sweet Blanc du Bois. So Blanc du Bois is a variety that was actually crossbred at the University of Florida by a Texan. And then Florida hasn't done anything with it, but Texas has adopted the variety and really made it its own, mostly in East Texas and along the Gulf Coast. It is resistant to Pierce's disease, which is a disease that basically takes out vinifera vines. It's also very resistant to the climate, so high humidity, lots of rain. You do have to fight some disease, but it is a very marketable grape. And as far as to dovetail back into the question that Michael was asked earlier, as far as Texas possibly leading in a category, this particular grape has been marketed and is sold and is a very viable commercial option for Texas. It's building a following, and so this could be something that can be like moved back to Georgia or northern Florida. Georgia's got an up-and-coming wine region, and Texas can lead the way and kind of show them how to do this.
Now, going into the question for this wing, I just want to give you guys a scenario-based question here and see how you guys would present yourself or how you guys would solve said scenario. A client wants to produce a style of wine that is very different from what you typically produce. How would you accommodate their request?
Depends on what it is.
We would keep it real, you know? I think it's important to try to be as transparent as possible to manage expectations, right? Like even when it comes to the grape varieties that we grow or the styles of wine produced here in Texas, again, the uniqueness of terroir is what's gonna make wines what they are, right? But we've had requests to make infused with spice wines and fruit wines and all kinds of stuff. And you know, some things we'll try, we'll jump in there on and, you know, try to stir the pot. But we also just want to be realistic with saying that here's what our expertise is, and at the same time, it's celebrating what we do well, right? Like if you know the old saying that you can't judge a fish by how well it can climb a tree. If we know that we are fantastic at producing wines from vinifera grapes in neoclassical styles, then we want to lean heavily off into that as opposed to attempting to do something totally different. There is a certain amount of excitement when it comes to being pioneering or trying unique styles or blends or techniques. We also have to be realists, and we know that we want to put our clients in a position to have as much long-term success as possible. And that's the big deal. Is like, hey, we can do this, but it may be a one-off, it may be a dud, and we don't want to put you in a situation where you be set to fail.
I think that's business-wise. I think that's a very smart move. Being completely transparent, being smart, and explaining to clients that like this is what the operation's going to look like, and whether we're really able to do this or not is a very professional standard, and that's really good on you guys. From this point on, we'll move on to the middle ground of the wings. Are you guys prepared? All right, going to number 5. We are going to Fire Fury Cayenne is what it's called. Can you guys handle that? Fury Cayenne.
Fury?
Fury. Old man apparatus is really attacking you, Wes, isn't it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Enunciation.
Okay.
Furiosa.
Now, how are we feeling about this hotness level at this point? Midway across the board. I think this is an interesting stopping point.
I expected more from Midway.
Oh.
Yeah, I
He
said
wants
it.
a challenge. West too as well?
I expected from level 5. Yes, I expected a little more.
I'm not saying that we won't get there.
I think we'll get there fast.
No, Sergio, will you do me a favor and add a clip from the end of the video real quick so that we can really see the foreshadowing here?
That's my gangster.
Post credits.
My mouth.
Now, how would you describe the flavoring of the pear as well here in this wine testing and wing flavor?
I haven't had any wine with it yet, but the cayenne was nice. Or I'm not even gonna say it was nice. It was just very distinct cayenne. It kind of felt more monotone. That's why I think maybe I expected more. So far, that apple one maybe my favorite. Of
It didn't have as much heat as a couple of previous ones.
Right, I agree.
Yeah. But the wine pairing, it actually take a sip of that wine, it'll pull more flavors out of that sauce.
Okay. Kind of rides the beat a little bit.
Ooh, okay. I find it very interesting how the wine can really integrate with the flavors of foods, and how even at a spicy level, it's still changing flavors.
Yeah, oftentimes, spice and strong flavors that are in barbecues or heavily sauced foods can be difficult to pair because they can overwhelm the wine. But surprisingly, these are all been very enjoyable. And I think it's also more realistic. Like, I'm not going to always be having a Gruyere, grilled cheese on brioche, whatever, or open face flat iron, yada yada yada. Have some wings or pizza or burger or whatever, and I want to enjoy the wine like in my natural space. And I think that's what, in general, we put in which wine is celebrated to the point to where it is lauded and lifted on a pedestal. But I think we prematurely put it on the pedestal and then put it out of reach when it comes to just classic enjoyment. Like, I want to drink wine right now. I want to drink wine. If I'm drinking a bev, I want it to be wine.
It opens your eyes to wine and into food and to the pairing of the both. So one of the simplest pairings, we had a sweet Muscat Giallo with a Girl Scout cookie, the s'mores Girl Scout cookie. You would think cookies and wine is like, come on. And that's kind of the attitude I had going into it, because there was a couple here and they were going through and tasting their wine to Girl Scout cookies because it's a thing. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. And, but I landed on that one, and it was mind blowing on how the flavors of each complemented each other to take something that was good, also something that was really good in a different vein, and together it was really good.
Pretty bizarre. I know at the beginning of this you said, have you ever had a bizarre pairing with wine before? I'd probably argue that Girl Scout cookies were crazier than wings, honestly, because that is a interesting pairing. Wow.
I didn't classify it that way because I ended up with one that was just so good.
Really?
It made it to the list because there's a short list of, man, I had the best pairing with this and that.
Yeah, so it just didn't seem bizarre at the time, huh?
Well, after all of a sudden you see the light, it's like, once the light shines, nothing is bizarre about this. This is one of the best things.
Well, let me ask you now, having tried half of the wings this far, would you say this is a bizarre pairing at all, by any means?
Not yet, because some of these wines have gone really well with some of these wings.
Interesting.
No, but I never would have put these two together. I never would have said, let's try a pairing with some wings.
Yeah,
and let's just get hotter in sauce as we go.
Now, remind you, this is coming from a Texas industry leader, and that's crazy to hear. Now, I still haven't got to my question for this wing yet. For this segment, we're actually going to do an interesting proposal here. We're going to have one of you leave the room, and I'm going to ask you separately a question. Are you prepared for this?
Sure.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to that. Now, Wes, a question for you. Very important. I need you to stay focused. Please put that smile away. How would you describe each other's role in this winery? this facility of yours?
So as co-owners, we both have overlapping roles. But Michael is obviously the winemaker. So he's the one that's deciding what program these wines are going to be on, how we're going to handle these wines, how they're going to be fermented, what additives, and he ultimately has in mind the end result out on the crush pad as we're crushing these grapes. I, on the other hand, I do all the records, I do the technical stuff, I file all the reports, a lot of the admin, administration, and he doesn't do a whole lot of that. Where we overlap a lot is with customers, customer service and talking to customers, because everybody wants to talk to the winemaker anyway. I'm just the business guy. So we try to both be in the room because we both have pieces of the puzzle when we're talking to them that we have the answers, but one of us doesn't have them all. But that's what Michael does here.
Guess who's back?
Now, Michael, Wes had some interesting things to say about you. I won't go into detail, of course. Of course, I won't go into detail. Now, I wanted to ask you, in your experience, how would you describe each other's roles in the winery?
You know, I would say that I'm the dad, and Wes is the little nephew that kind of hangs around. He's looking to really try to make things happen. Nah, I'm just kidding. So, obviously my specialty is wine production, winemaking, and Wes has a viticultural background. So that helped us, initially fall off into natural roles where grape procurement, vineyard acquisition was Wes's role, where the production facility was mine. But we have so many other varied hats when it comes to business ownership, whether it be client relations, taking care of our inventory, managing our team, those types of things. We kind of share some of those things, and we found new strengths and can offer insight really across the board. Because me and Wes is a good guy. We have a great relationship, and I think that's a big part of it. Is you got to have a good relationship. You got to love this game. You know what I mean?
I think I'm really seeing that in this interview, and hopefully the viewers can see that as well. You guys are doing a great job at understanding what you're doing. It's easy to see that you guys are doing this because, one, you guys have the experience, but that you guys really enjoy it. But not only that, like, you guys enjoy each other. I know you guys say it in past podcasts or etc. interviews that you guys really want this to be kind of like a family-oriented business, even though you guys are just friends. But you guys really emphasize that in a lot of the processes and things that you do for your clients and even your employees. So that's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, if I could take a moment to quote the late urban poet C.L. Butler, the game. Why are you gonna cut that out? Why can't listen? Leave that in there. That's gonna. I'm gonna say it later. I'm gonna say it again.
Now, those are amazing answers for the last question. Moving on to the next wing, prepare yourself for number 6 on the list. We have Extreme Habanero. Prepare yourselves and go ahead and take a bite. Now, how are we thinking?
It's a slow build,
It's a little picoso, okay.
but it's building.
Yeah. It's a spicy, mijo.
Oh, getting hot, I see. Okay. Still able to eat the entire wing. I'm impressed. Going into this, I just want to tell the viewers, Wes was extremely extremely stressed about the flavors.
No.
Now listen.
I said, I don't like hot stuff. I don't want to do hot wings. But here we are.
Yes, enjoying.
Now listen.
I might add. Enjoying I might add the hot wings.
I like wings. I don't need them to be that hot. This is kind of what I was expecting 5 to be.
Yeah. If I don't make it, tell my story.
And I will miss him so much, and I will not rest until I find his killer.
Because it ramped up considerably. We were like doing this and we were like doing this, and I was like,
Things are getting a little serious.
but as I would expect from a habanero, the heat has turned up.
It's not going away either.
No, I keep waiting for it to top out.
It's
It
just
keeps
here.
building. It just keeps building.
It's just here and it's not going anywhere.
This wine actually helps.
Now, how would you describe this flavor in all your pain? If you can make it through.
It's definitely habanero. Like quality habaneros when you get them on tacos. They have a unique flavor. It's there.
Just went from 0 to 100.
Yeah, the aggressiveness of the habanero.
Very.
It's on my lips.
Yeah.
It hurts really bad.
I should have known. I was like, oh, they're gonna eat the whole wing. I was like,
But-
yeah, it's building, it's building.
Now, I do want to point out that we've tilted to the other side of the table. We're no longer on the first half. This is the second half.
Oh, yeah.
Prepare yourself.
Let's keep it rolling.
I do want to point out to the viewers today that Michael insisted on a carton of almond milk.
Freshly milked from the farms.
Now, of course, Wes here, obligated as he is.
All the milks. We've got almond, we've got pistachio, we've got cashew milk, we've got oat milk. I kind of prefer the milk from a cow. You know, the thing that's called milk for a reason.
Just a fun little question for you guys, just to break the ice here. If Sage's Benches made a house wine that captured your personalities, what would it be called and what would it taste like?
It's a whole different. House wine that is extremely marketable is one question. But he has to capture our personality.
Yes.
Are you okay over there?
I'm gonna be all right.
Mike, we die like men.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Carry me on my shield, okay? Just like carry me on the. As much as I would want it to be a white wine, I think it would be a red blend,
Okay.
and it would. I would impart nuanced complexity and like simple, distinct flavor lines. What would you impart, Wes? I would impart smooth drinkability,
That's exactly what I was
And
going to say.
approachability. See that?
Ease of drinking.
What part of ease of drinking and very distinctive wines do you think pushes your personality?
That's really it. Like the
Smooth, yes. That's what I think of when I think Wes Jensen. Smooth, yes. Not at all.
Yes, blunt is also smooth.
it works.
Same thing.
Yes, and distinctive lines is not what I think of when I hear Michael McClendon.
But the subtle nuances off in there. Like
Yeah.
you get the subtle nuances, but there's some distinct, like, you know what? This guy, he's all right. But you know, there's a little bit more going on in there. If I really open it up, he might quote Chad Butler and say the game is cold.
The only
know what?
wine that we have done in the past that might even come close to what we're trying to describe is the Sangiovese 2 vineyards, 2 picks.
I would have said some Dolcetto of some sort,
That's true.
like a couple years back, 2 vintages back. And or that very
21.
first year, excuse me, it may be a little bit more robust, but the very first year of Petite Syrah, like 2019, 2020.
Helena Petit,
Yep.
East Texas.
Those flavors are like, bam, right there.
Well, that was a very full, smooth, but very
Mhm.
big, full, smooth wine.
But as you taste through there, there's a little like, okay, this oak is taking me somewhere. The structure is taking me somewhere. There's some depth of this black fruit going from berry to
Juiciness
plum.
of it. It was.
So it's red. It's a
It's a
red
red,
blend.
red or red blend.
And it's called House Music.
Honestly, it's not bad.
I know it because it'd be awesome. It'd be an awesome like just or it'd be called Deep House.
Deep House. If
Deep
it's
House.
a Petite Syrah, it's definitely Deep House.
Deep House.
Deep House. All right, going into number 7 on the list. We're really getting to the high numbers here. Number 7, original ghost pepper.
We're into the.
F and
after
A.
6, we're into the ghost peppers. This is where we die.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it, man.
We die like men.
Go ahead and get that question fired up so I don't have to die for a long time.
You got it. Now going for something for the new, some potential clients that may be out there listening or watching. What advice would you give to someone looking to start their own wine brand through your custom crush facility? Like, what steps would they go? What kind of advice or like recommendations would you give these people?
Do your research. Understand what you're going to do and what your target market is, and then how or what your brand is going to be. Because right out of the gate, you're starting out with your brand. So who are you as a brand? Have that well defined, and then are you dying?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
I recovered pretty quickly.
And then do your research, because you're getting into the alcohol business, and the alcohol business has multiple facets of different things. You've got federal government is in your business, state government is in your business, and know what you need to do for each one of those categories. And then also for working with us, storage of wine, how does this relationship going to work? What are you just going to sell it? Are you going to make some on your own? Are we just making one wine for you? Are we making a portfolio? All of that kind of can fold into, and that's in our steps of our process. When we get initial, someone will email us and like, hey, I want to make a wine, and so I want to start a winery. We try to pull them into our process steps, and it's a phone call, and you need to come visit, see who we are, and then taste what we do, so you can follow in and decide, is like, okay, is this what I like? Is this the style of wine that I like? Are these some of the things that I want? That I, as them, I want, is this me? How can I change this? And it's one thing that we try to pride ourselves on, is adding the extra custom and custom crush. Yeah, we might have a tank with 3,000 gallons out there, but if you're gonna come out and you want 60 cases of that, it's nowhere near that, but we can tailor that and tweak it to get it to where it's gonna be your specific wine. And according to your taste. And so we want it to be your wine and quality enough that right out of the box, that you can stand behind it.
Now, just to build off that, what would it look like for a new client or someone that wants to come visit your winery? What would that look like for them to come see your wine and maybe taste some wines? What is the process for that exactly?
Yeah, so we like to just set up a discovery meeting or call first, but then have that initial meeting for clients or prospective clients to come in, see our facilities, and get as comfortable with us as we want to get comfortable with them, right? And many times it's to understand what their views of wine are, how they think about the process that they're getting into, and again to try to educate as much as possible over what it's going to be like working with us or getting into the industry. Trying to be transparent, like we talked about earlier, not sugarcoating it with them, learning with them, because it's a collaborative effort. We want to work with them for the long term as well. So sometimes it means pointing them in a different direction. Sometimes it's not all sunshine and rainbows, and I think that's a big part of what the industry is, because there are times where the industry is hard, where it's not like this part of it is obviously it's great getting to taste wine and things like that, but that's not how it is all the time. It is a job where it's mostly cleaning. It is a job where you are in a cold environment or a wet environment or
A hot environment.
a hot environment. And that's just on the production end. For them, if they're gonna be on the sales side of it, you're gonna have to get used to being told no. Someone gonna say, I don't like that. I don't drink Texas wine. Now, they may be completely wrong, but you're gonna have to get used to that, and to be able to put something that you feel so passionately about out in the open for approval of others, and then to be able to face that rejection, but then have to have the fortitude and resilience to come back again and again and again. That's not for everybody, So in the kindest way possible, and probably veiled over the course of an hour to 2 hour conversation, we try to get all that information out.
And there's, to dovetail right into that, to give a little bit of background, there is 13 to 1,400 varieties of vinifera wine. Most of the wine that's made, much less if you're talking hybrids or anything else that we grow here in Texas. And then some people walk in and they taste, and it's either a yes or no. They can't tell you why that they like or don't like. And so you have to be good at trying to pick some of that out and not be so offended. Like, okay, I know this wine is good. It's just a wine that you don't like, because everybody tastes differently. It's a perception game. There's a wine for everyone, but not every wine is for everybody.
All right, moving on to number 8. We have Phantom Buffalo Ghost Pepper Wing Sauce. Go ahead and meet it. You're close to the end now. End game.
I've been looking forward to this one right here, Phantom Buffalo.
You don't feel that coming in on me?
Nope.
You will in a minute. You're eating the whole thing.
No, Wes is clearly feeling it. How does it taste? What do you think?
There's a burn in the background, and I feel it coming, and it's like, maybe I should wait and see if this is really going to take hold. It's the thing about hot sauce and peppers, and it doesn't always hit you up front. Sometimes it comes in slowly, and sometimes it takes a while.
It's the slow knife that cuts the deepest.
And it's and it can be a dull knife as well. It just hurts the whole time.
No, it's interesting to point out spicy and sweet really combat each other.
It is. They combat each other.
What was that? I didn't know where that came from.
He's seeing it. I'm sweating. I'm okay, but I'm sweating.
I can tell the reflection is
It's got
quite
shinier.
It's
got
really
shinier.
bright. It's
My concern level is palpable here.
Yeah, we haven't got to the end of it yet. It's still rising.
all right. Moving on to the next question. Kind of building off of the last question we had in terms of winemaking and making stuff for your clients. How do you balance the artistry and science of winemaking while managing production for so many different clients? I mean, with your background in biology and you still wanting to be very artistic with how your wines are, go on that for me, will you?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can spend a lot of time, really talking about that and getting pedantic about it. But it's like kind of what we said earlier. Wine can be as simple or complex as you want to make it, really, right? And from the artistry side of it, it is truly in the eye of the beholder, right? So our flavor preferences or taste preferences vary. There's some wine styles that I like that are just not popular anymore, right? Like heavy oat, buttery California Chardonnay. I love it. It's art to me, but I get it that it's not what a lot of people are really into right now. But that's the best thing of the beauty of art, is that it's whatever that piece is speaks to you, right? And typically I think I would have, or say typically, in the past I would have probably drew a more distinct line between art and science and things like that. But back to it's a self-preference, beauty in the eye of the beholder situation. The artistry, involved in science, I think, is as beautiful as anything, right? We may not get all goo gaga over yeast metabolism and the awesome way that the tools in the lab are functioning, or the fact that this new mechanism for trying to manage pH exists. But I mean, the subtlety, the nuance parts of it, and then the elation of discovery is all part of the experience, right? It's all part of just riding that wave, man. So the question was, how do you manage or balance that for our clients? I think that's a big part of just understanding who we are, what we do. We make wine in a style that's like this. We're going to try to make it the best as possible to give you some success. So understanding, that conversation, I think, is a big part of what we do up front. And then as we get into something, we work to try to make some things that are special.
And I think you really emphasized that in the last question when you talked about how whenever you do have new clients come over and they do taste their wines, you really explain to them like, hey, this is what we have. This is our style of wine, right? It's your artistry to an extent, of course, and we can really bend it to certain ways, but you guys ultimately have, your wine.
Could I do it? Possibly, but this is my style.
Now we're gonna go ahead and move into number 9. Almost to the end game. Prepare yourselves. Wes is really sweating here. He hasn't touched his milk though, so I will say
Someone had to get into their almonds.
Listen,
Almonds. Yeah, you know why Californians call almonds? Because when they harvest it, they shake the tree, so they say they shake the L out of them.
Oh my God.
that's what the heat does to Wes.
Going to number 9, we have smoked ghost pepper. Are you prepared? All right. Now going into this question, I'm going to go ahead and while you guys set up and prepare yourself, I'll go ahead and ask the next question. A little bit of a fun one here. Just want to change the pace for you guys. If your winery had a theme song, what would it be? You guys have to choose one, so fight yourselves.
Oh no, it can't happen.
Pass me a name.
That's pretty good.
Core. I don't know the name of the song, but that would be it.
Instantly tingles the back of my neck.
Yeah, I got the
really stings the
You
nostrils.
said the back of your neck, not your throat. Not your throat. I just want to clarify.
Nah, man, this is back to my reach. It literally reached down, reached through the earth. And all at once it came. Woo!
Whoa, that's some heat, buddy. You going in for another bite?
Yeah. Look,
But
one song, like I'm tempted to die.
wow,
I'm tempted.
I can't breathe.
Uh,
Just goes back into my windpipe. It's like, no, don't do that.
I mean, I'm tempted to go Rhinestone Cowboy.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Interesting choice.
I don't know if that's for you, but I know it's for me.
Well,
But I like the one that you was. I don't know the name. I like that song.
you love that song, and it's a good song.
Can we get some lyrics, bro?
House music, of course. It's common ground. It's a blending of styles. So, this particular song, house music, has an individual reading, speaking, and go ahead and say the.
My eyes about to water.
Yeah. I don't think I realize how much in pain I am right now.
Because
He's really like hesitating to grab the milk. He's like, I won't touch it. I won't touch it.
I touched that thing.
I don't understand how the heat can go. You don't feel it here, but it's up here. Are you dying right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. My grandfather used to eat jalapenos until they.
Well, y'all,
That's on video.
y'all heard Wes say jalapeno, like put a little accent.
Actually sweating. He's actually
I was
sweating.
literally
He's
sweating.
not kidding. He's not kidding.
Told you.
He's actually not kidding. Here you go. I'm just.
My grandfather would eat jalapenos until he would sweat drip off of his head until he would kill the inside of the skin inside of his mouth, and it would actually come out.
No, we still have to
Show
keep
a
up with the
guy
answer for this
breathing
question.
fire. What was the question?
The song.
Yeah, if your winery had a theme song, what would it be?
I'll only be able to input a snippet of the song, obviously, for copyright reasons.
But here's the other one. Here's a different one. Similar vein. The
Bon Jovi, Dead or Alive.
I got Dead or Alive myself.
Bon Jovi, Dead or
But
Alive.
I would go the Elton John Sacrifice.
Oh yeah. Well, you die over that song.
Because it's not quite the same way that Dua Lipa did it. It's a little different.
Bless you.
You guys need a moment? Or?
It's not sacrifice. It's a simple word.
You're sweating too.
It's just too hard to live.
It's crazy. I didn't think I'd be able to see a reflection of his forehead, but
Glow. It's a glow. It's a sheen.
Allow my countenance to just shine upon you. Take it in.
That's pretty rough. That one was pretty rough.
All right.
His aura, whatever it was, it was orange.
It's orange.
What did you say?
It's a video. His aura?
Whatever you want to call it, the glow around it. Aura?
His aura or whatever, I seen it. It was orange.
It was orange. It was orange.
right. Going into the last wing here. You guys, I just want to prepare. You guys will be choosing the amount of sauce you guys put on this wing.
We should have done that the whole time.
Well, I think my everything is gone.
Let's get some of that off of that. Get some of that off of there.
Oh, that's cheated.
Come on, look at that. You can see it. You can see the little individual flakes of the ghost.
Yeah, no, you're definitely lying.
I'm not lying.
I remember my first beer. Want me to put a nipple on that for you boys? Woo! Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
Smoke on the water.
All right.
Hey, watch this right here. This is why they call me Dirty Mike. He goes back in.
Numero reduso.
All right, and finishing off on the spicy wing. On this spicy wing.
You need
All right.
more of your
This is your chance at the very end here, guys. Is there anything you want to say to the viewers or anybody that's watching now? Anything you want to tell any future clients? Go ahead. This is your moment. This is your shine.
I just want you to know, right now, that in comparison to Michael and I can handle the heat.
It's all theatric, guys. If you don't know me, I'm a showman. The greatest showman, arguably.
Yeah, can we zoom in on that sweat he had?
Oh, I got some sweat. But I haven't touched my milk yet.
Oh.
I will at the end.
You know, if I could say anything, I'd like to take this opportunity
To talk about
to talk about myself. Whether you like it or you don't like it, sit down and look at it, because it's the best going today. Woo! No, we love wine. This is awesome. It's fun. Excited to be a part of the industry and just want to keep doing it. You know what I mean? The end. That's all I got.
Absolutely. Definitely love wine. We love the people we work with. And we really would just like to just keep doing what we're doing.
Salute. Cheers.
Salute. Cheers.
I believe a wise man once said, once you pop, the fun don't stop.
What did he say?
I think it's German or something. It's an old saying. It's an old saying.
It's recorded.
Wait a minute.